Greetings everyone, Wolf here with another episode of 1.14 Minecraft. And here we are over at the skeleton spawner. Alright, we're going to be working on the second phase of this spawner. And what we're going to create is a creeper farm. And the reason we're going to create this creeper farm is because I'm going to use it to get a little bit of gunpowder, but mostly for records and skull gathering, which is why I'm building it next to the skeleton spawner so I can actually use the creepers and the skeletons together by the bridge that's above us. Let's go over some of the basics for the farm. Let's talk about cats and creepers. One of the most interesting and, in my opinion, somewhat funny feature is that creepers are afraid of cats. So if it sees a cat, it's going to run away. And that's what we're going to use to build this farm. Now, in order for the creeper to be afraid of the cat, it has to be able to sense it, see it. So what I have here is I have an 11 by 11 platform with the cat centered. So we're 5 blocks out from the cat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks out from the cat. And the diamond formation that is in this polished granite is actually the sensing range that the creeper has for seeing the cat. So once the creeper sees the cat, it will try to run away. Good. Now, what you're going to also take notice of this platform, I have trapdoors here so that the creeper will try to run off. What you want to notice right now is it's now outside of the sensing range in this triangle section here. And it will not fall off because it doesn't see that there's a safe way to fall. Which is why on this diamond section you'll see a platform which is 2 blocks below. And on this square section there's also 2 blocks below. So if we put a creeper that comes over here and sees that there is a pathway for it to fall down to, it'll take that pathway to get away from the cat. So when we design this platform, we want to make sure that we're going to have a drop floor that is within a range for it to fall into. So 2 or 3 blocks below the spawning platform. And we have to keep in mind, though, as you can see, this guy is trapped here. He won't move from this spot, and of course that'll be a continued entity count. Now you could either design the platform as being square or in this diamond formation, because it will fall off in this diamond formation as well. Of course, it's going to come over to the one section where it's safe. And then he's going to push him off there. And then eventually, as you see, he fell himself. But it does happen. Okay, now, if you notice here, I have the cat inside of a mine cart. And I have the mine cart trapped, so this way the creepers cannot push this mine cart around. Now, see, he went up on top of the trapdoor, and the mine cart was staying in place. That's what we want. If you don't have the iron or don't want to use a minecart, you can use a boat with your cat in it, and it'll do the same thing. The creeper will try to find a way to get away from the cat. Alright, let's go over the details of how the creeper is going to form inside this farm. When I design this farm, I'm going to be designing it as a 2-block farm. So we have the floor here, and we're going to go up 2 blocks, and then we're going to have our ceiling. What that means is it limits what can spawn inside of the farm. So I can actually spawn in a skeleton here, and I can spawn in a zombie, because I'm in creative mode. But if you look at the hitboxes, the heads of the mobs are actually inside the trapdoors. Right? The game doesn't like this, and because it doesn't like the fact that the mob can't fully form inside air blocks, it will not allow these mobs to spawn in. So we can come over here and spawn this in between the 1 by 2 block, and it'll be fine because, as you see, the hitbox is within that 2 block range. So we take a creeper and spawn the creeper in, and take a look at his hitbox. You can see that there's actually still even a slight air gap above the creeper's head here. So that allows the creeper to form in here. That also means, though, because their hitboxes are 1 block tall, spiders can also form inside of this farm, as well as baby zombies. So we have to be kind of mindful of those 2 aspects. Right, now that we have the basics of cats versus creepers and an understanding of the sensing range of their fear, And the fact that the platform is going to be a 2-block thing, this is essentially what we're going to be designing. We'll have our platform, we're going to have our cat in the center. I'm going to put a block up here to prevent anything from getting into the way of the cat, including spiders. And the ceiling is going to be covered in trapdoors. Now, the next question probably most people do ask is, why don't we just close the trapdoors around the cat instead of using a boat or a mine cart to hold them? And here's why. If you spawn in a creeper, I will put him right next to here. And we take a moment. Now, by now, the algorithm should have already seen or sensed the cat. It has not, because it doesn't actually physically see the cat because the trapdoors are actually blocking it. So if we open the trapdoor, as you can see, he sees that there's a cat there and is like, okay, I need to get out of here. So that's why I place the cat inside of a minecart or boat. It's to make sure the cat stays in the center of the farm, as well as making sure that the sensor range of the creeper is still what we have set up. And here we are over at the skeleton bridge. Alrighty. Now, the first thing I need to do is I actually need to get a temporary platform between the two farms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the corner of the bridge here, and this would be the corner that I'm going to use. And from here I'm going to go out 14 blocks. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And that block right there is going to mark the corner of the outside wall of the farm, right there. Alright, so put a temporary torch down for right now. How's that? And then I'm going to do the same thing over on the other side. And I'm going to start that one right here on this block as well, where the water chute comes up. So I'm going to go out 14 blocks here, and I'm going to fill this all in. Now, be mindful, please. This is all temporary stuff until I actually build the cover around it and everything, make everything look pretty. This is just so we can get these farms up and running. All right, guys? So let me get that in place. And, of course, I'm going to have to take out some of those trees and some of this hill right here because it's going to be in the way. Now, the platform is in place, and I just want to quickly show why I'm going to be taking out the trees and a little bit of this hill. Remember, here's where the corner of the farm is actually going to begin, is right here. And the inner part of the farm, the platform which the creeper is going to form on, is actually going to be 9 blocks by 9 blocks. Okay, I know in the video we can actually go 11 out, but I'm making this platform 9 by 9. So, that in mind, as you can see the room size, and I'm going to drop these guys in, because I'm going to have a 2 gap here in which I have trapdoors on both sides, goes past this point where these trees are and that little section of the hill is, which can actually interfere with the farm. So I'm going to finish off getting the rest of this floor in place, get the platform, and get that all dug out. The platform is now in place. So let's get working on the walls. We're going to go 2 blocks above the platform, and we're going to go 2 blocks below the platform. And the ceiling, I'm actually going to use half slabs on the ceiling. So I'm going to place half slabs here, but the second row from the outer edge, I'm actually going to make it as a whole block instead of the half slab. So the row that's above this set of trapdoors will actually be a full block, and everything else is going to be half slabs for the ceiling. And I will cover why that series of blocks will be full shortly. Let's quickly go over the reason why I add those whole blocks up top here. If you notice on the bottom of the whole blocks, I have a series of trapdoors set up so that they open towards the farm itself, all the way around. Okay. Now let's get up top. And what we're going to do with this is I'm actually going to use this as a redstone component. So I'm going to begin here at this block, which is solid, because I'm going to put a lever on the bottom of this to operate this. I'm going to go to here, and then we're going to split from here, going in this direction. And where I have this torch, I'm going to put down a repeater here, if I can get out of the way, so that the trapdoor that's actually here will not actually be activated. And the reason for that is because I'm actually going to use this section right here to pull out creepers for record collection and skull collection that'll be in a section in here, which I will be using to, of course, farm those items. And we're going to continue this circuit all the way around to this corner over here. And since we're not actually going to loop it, we can end it right here and use a half slab right there. The rest of this roof will be non-spawnable because of the half slabs, and of course nothing spawns on top of redstone components. And we're going to bring this component all the way down to this corner here. And then what I'm going to do is, since there's no trapdoor here anyway, I'm going to repeat this signal, bring this around so it finishes off this line right here. And what that's going to do for us is when I get down here and put this lever on, this block right here, I'm going to put it on the underside of this one. When I flick the lever, look what happens. Every one of the trapdoors now shuts. And the reason this is being done is so I can capture the creeper so they can't fall off of here. Okay, and this way I'll leave one pathway right here where I can attract the creatures themselves. So basically they're given only one access point out of this farm instead of falling and collecting their gunpowder. And then they'll come into the chute that I'm going to eventually build here, which is where I'm going to use them for records and skull collection. And simply put it back onto a farm that'll collect gunpowder, just hit that switch, and all those trapdoors close. It's as simple as that. Just a quick little clip here, guys, while I'm building this, just to show you that this actually works. Look, we already have creepers forming in this area. As you can tell, that's the second one I've killed that is formed in here. Alright. The ceiling and the walls are now in place, and here we are underneath the spawn platform. Remember that the wall goes down 2 blocks, and we have our 2-block floor here, where the creepers will drop onto. And I'm going to be setting up the water section now. And what I did was, after the 2 blocks, I drop it 1 more block and go 3 blocks in, and leave a 3x3 hole, and then I use fence gates, which will allow the creepers to fall through in the 8 sections around it. The middle one, I don't have any there because we don't need it there. That'll prevent the water from flowing down inside. Now, when you're placing this water, there are 2 things you have to keep in mind. First off, you do not want to create a pool up here. So when you set your first source down, you have to count over 4 blocks from the edge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can place your first block. And what's going to happen is, as you see, there's a single flow of water here. So each one of these blocks has to be placed with an actual individual water source. Do the same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4 in place. We get our corner going. And then what we're going to do is in the corner itself, we're actually going to place it 2 blocks up. So 1, 2. And that's going to float down and create this little section right here. The only problem that this design has is the corner piece right here is a non-flowing water source. So, if you come down here, there's a possibility of someone getting stuck here. Most of the time, if that happens, they usually find their way through it and end up falling down eventually. Alright, that is the 2 things you have to keep in mind. Where to place your water sources so you don't create a whole pool down here, and the fact that there is 1 block per corner where there is a dead zone. Alright, guys. Next up, I'm going to be getting the drop chute dug all the way down there, and the collection area. Now remember, in order to kill these guys, we have to drop them 23.5 blocks to completely kill them per drop. They don't wear any armor, so we don't have to worry about any of that. They have no enchant, so we don't have to worry about any of that. So 23.5 blocks, and they're instantly killed. And here we are at the bottom of the drop shaft. What I have is basically 9 hoppers into a barrel, and as you can see, it does work. Okay, let's go up top. And here we are, guys, at the top, and the farm is now completed. We're over here at the bridge for the dungeon, as well as our temporary platform, and on the creeper farm right next door to it. So phase 2 of the dungeon build is now completed. And I now have to do the next phase, which is getting the tunnel system between the 2 farms so we can get the skeletons and the creepers together. Alright, as always, thank you for supporting, thank you for watching. Y'all take care now. Bye.